You've just smashed the interview process and have landed yourself your first job! Congrats! Whether you are a full-time employee, work for yourself, or are a casually employed legend, entering the world of the workforce is a big step to take. As your teachers on graduation day say, the world is your oyster. But before you can jump straight into the world of work, there are a few things you'll need to have to set up before your first day. A tax file number. Your tax file number is a special 9-digit number created especially for you that is used for taxation and superannuation purposes throughout your entire working life. How you apply for your TFN depends on your circumstances, but the ATO website will have all the information you need for this process. A bank account. Make sure you have a bank account open and ready to roll so that your employer can start paying you that sweet wage, as your employer might not want to pay you in coins after every shift. Try to do your research on banks and find a bank that has either low or no fee personal bank accounts. Again, these little fees can really add up in the long term. Superannuation. You'll need to have chosen, joined and set up your superannuation fund once you've signed up. Your super fund can tell you what you need to do to let your employer know how to pay your super. Now that you've got all the important stuff sorted, it's time to make sure your awesome new employer delivers on the terms laid out in your employment agreement. It's important to have a look at your contract and Number 1. Understand your probation terms. Number 2. Read the termination clause carefully. Number 3. Be aware of any bonuses or key performance indicators. Are they all in line with your understanding of the role? And 4. See if the pay cycle is weekly, fortnightly or monthly so you can plan your budget accordingly. This is really important as you may not get paid until the month after you start your new role. If this is the case, can you afford to live until the date or do you need to ask for some consideration for the first pay cycle? Awards. Before you get too excited, unfortunately, no, you don't always get awards for working. Awards is actually the category your type of work falls under. Different careers have different industry awards, which set the minimum standards that your employer has to comply with for your employment. This includes things like the amount you get paid, work conditions, minimum or maximum hours of work, breaks, penalty rates, and overtime. To find your award entitlements, head over to www.fairwork.gov.au. Now that you're working, you'll be welcomed into the elite group known as, drumroll please, the taxpayers. Tax is the money we all pay to the government, which goes towards providing health and education services, social security, and various other everyday things. When you start working, you'll fill out what is called a tax declaration form. It will ask you to include personal details such as your age and how often you work. Your employer will then use this to work out how much tax to withhold from your wage, which will be paid to your taxation office on your behalf. This means you don't need to pay your own tax, as this is already done for you by your employer. The amount that your employer transfers to your bank account, in most cases, is totally yours to spend, save, invest, or do whatever else you think you'd like to do with your money. Depending on how much you earn, you may even be entitled to some of the money back at the end of the financial year. Score! Maybe talk about this with your accountant though, to be sure. You will find this out when you do your end of financial year tax return. Check you out, what a grown-up! You're probably thinking, it doesn't get much better than this, right? Then the day comes when that beautiful pay fills your account and you'll get feeling of relief and excitement all in one.